Chapter 3. In the quiet stillness of the evening, a melancholic haze envelopes the figures sitting at the side of Serenity, the cherished wife of Dragos and mother to Samara. Their hearts heavy with grief, they mourn their profound loss, tears silently tracing rivers on their cheeks as the setting sun casts a golden glow upon the scene. The air is heavy with a sense of finality, as though even the gentle breeze dares not disrupt the somber moment. It is a sorrowful tableau, where love and loss intertwine like vines in a bittersweet dance. As they gather around Serenity, their souls ache with a pain that cuts deeper than any blade, a wound that no time can fully heal. In this moment of profound sorrow, they find solace in each other's presence, a flickering light in the darkness of their despair. Like wilted flowers yearning for the sun, they cling to memories of laughter and joy, weaving them into a tapestry of love that will endure long after the ashes of grief have settled. And in the quiet of the evening, as the stars begin to twinkle in the sky, they find a glimmer of hope amidst the shadows, a beacon of light leading them through the darkest of nights. As the moon casts an ominous glow over them while they are mourning Serenity's death, the vampire's departure was marked by a sense of dread that lingered in the air like a sinister fog. However, to everyone's surprise, the vampire returned with a horde of reinforcements, bursting through the creaking doorway with a ferocity that sent shivers down the spines of all who witnessed the scene. Their eyes glinted with a hunger for power, their fangs glinting like shards of obsidian in the dimly lit kitchen. The once retreating figure now stood tall, a formidable force to be reckoned with, their resolve as unyielding as the iron chains that bound them to the shadows. In a twisted turn of events, the vampire that left in fear had only returned in a blaze of newfound strength, proving that even the darkest corners hold secrets waiting to be unleashed. In the heat of the chaotic battle, they began attacking Dragos with relentless fervor. His voice pierced through the raging melee, yelling at Samara, "Run, save yourself," urging her to save herself from the overwhelming horde of vampires closing in. Despite the odds stacked against him, Dragos swung his weapon with all his might, a whirlwind of determination and valor, as he struck down as many bloodthirsty creatures as he could. Each blow landed with a resounding impact, like thunder echoing through the night, but there were just too many of them for him to fend off alone. The vampire's relentless advance was like a tide that could not be turned, an unstoppable force bearing down on him with chilling inevitability. And at that moment of peril, as the moon cast its ghostly light upon the fierce battleground, Dragos stood as a lone sentinel against the tide of darkness, a beacon of defiance in the face of overwhelming odds. They struck Dragos down. His might was no match for their relentless onslaught. As he lay gasping for breath, the twisted creatures feasted upon his essence, their eyes glinting crimson in the moonlight. The scene was a macabre dance of death, a symphony of terror painted in shades of red and black. Dragos, once a symbol of strength and power, now lay broken and defeated, a mere shadow of his former self. The vampires, with their cold, calculating gaze, reveled in their victory, a haunting reminder of the fleeting nature of life and power. And as the moon slipped behind a veil of clouds, the night whispered a chilling lullaby, a reminder that even the mightiest can fall to the darkness that lurks within us all. As soon as the vampires laid eyes on Dragos' lifeless body, a wave of victory washed over them, causing them to hastily retreat from the scene. The sight of their once formidable adversary, the sight of the motionless figure lying before them filled them with a sense of joy and reassurance, knowing that their efforts had paid off and that they were on the path to victory. After their triumphant victory, the vampires silently vanished from the scene, leaving behind an unsettling silence that lingered in the air. With their departure, the menacing presence of Dragos' demise no longer posed a threat. bringing a sense of relief to those who had been living in fear. Once the vampires departed, Samara hurriedly returned to the room to be with her father, who was now slowly losing his life force. She felt a mix of fear, sadness, and desperation as she watched him fade away before her eyes. The room was filled with a sense of impending loss, and she clung to his hand, hoping beyond hope that he would somehow pull through. The weight of the moment was heavy on her heart, and she pleaded, "Please, Dad, don't leave me. I can't do this alone," hoping he would be able to hold on just a little while longer. In the solemn moment when her father's life was slipping away, he managed to utter his last words, "Your training has reached its culmination, and now the responsibility lies with you, my beloved daughter. I deeply regret that I can no longer shield and safeguard you." A single tear cascaded down his face, symbolizing the weight of his emotions, as he bid farewell to his precious daughter, leaving her to face the world on her own. Samara was overcome with grief as she mourned the loss of her parents, who had been brutally murdered by the vampires that fateful night. The pain of losing both of them in such a tragic way weighed heavily on her heart, leaving her feeling shattered and alone in the world. The tears that streamed down her face were a testament to the deep sorrow and anguish she felt at the senseless loss of her loved ones.